Hello, this is Simon Sherborne. I'm here at the Avid Artist Bar at IBC 2018, and I'm demonstrating spatial audio production for VR and 360 video productions. So I'm going to show you how this works inside Pro Tools. Ultimately, this production will be viewed on something like this. So it's an Oculus Rift head-mounted display. We could also view it on Google Cardboard or even on YouTube on a screen. But the audio is going to be completely spherical, so wherever I look, the sound is going to follow. So we shot the video using a simple 360 camera like this, cut it in Media Composer using the Mocha VR plugin, and then transferred this all into Pro Tools for the audio production stage. So if we look over at my screen, so what we have here is, this is the video that we took, and it's been flattened out so that I can work on it on a screen. This is part of the new Facebook 3.3. It's got an internal video display with visual elements showing where the sound sources are coming from. We're using the Facebook control plugin here. This is taking all of the elements of my ambisonics mix and rendering a headphone mix in real time, which moves around depending on which way I'm viewing. So I can actually switch the video display to a 360 view here and change the orientation of the sound as a way of previewing what the viewer will see. But if we switch back to the global view, this is allowing me to place elements. Okay, so all of my source tracks here are using the Facebook Panner plugin for position. This first element here is an ambisonics recording of the forest ambience. Then we have 3 tracks of footsteps which have been added and some dialogue, and each of those elements is placed in post-production. So if we start from the beginning, you can follow these footsteps here across the video display. So if I hit play, you'll see I've already positioned this sound element using Pro Tools Mix Automation. But this next section just here has not been done yet, so I'll show you how this is done. I'm going to look at the panner for this track. So you see I have an element here which I can use to position the sound, and also the distance of that sound. So I'm going to track the position using the main video display. I have automation live, so if I hit play, I should, if I'm quick enough, be able to just track this character throughout his movement. Now, I didn't do a very good job of that. I can clean it up if I need to, but let's see how we did. Not very good, because didn't quite capture that time. So what I can do, I can record it in real time following my mouse movements. I can also use breakpoint automation in Pro Tools, and Facebook even have a intelligent tracker mode where I can visually point out a section of the video, and if there's a high enough contrast, that will automatically follow that element and save me a lot of work. But for most of this session, this project here, I used a kind of breakpoint editing where I was capturing keyframes, probably maybe every 2 seconds throughout the movement. I'd capture a keyframe and then we get a nice smooth movement. Okay. So the other thing I've done here is to add some reverb. So we have a 360 reverb plugin here from AudioEase, which we're using, and also a early reflections plugin from Blue Ripple, and those are being used to create the sound elements and the perspective inside the project, and it also takes into account the distance that we're setting on here. Okay, so once everything's finished, and you can see in this project most of the elements are in place, and you can see the movement is being tracked here, across here, for both the footsteps and the dialogue. We just had this one character to do. But once we're finished, I can essentially bounce this down to a ambisonics mix bus. I can also add static elements. So for example, if I wanted to add some music to this project or a voiceover, we don't want those to be tracking head movements. You just want that to stay in one place. So as part of the project here, I have what's called a headlocked mix. And I can, any elements that I add to my session here, so if I create a stereo track here, drop some music into that track and route it here, then when in my final Facebook video, those elements will stay in one place even if I'm looking around at the environmental sound. So yeah, this is the most new section, the spatializer window. So if you guys want to see that, come down and find us here at Hall 7 at IBC, and we'll be happy to show you it. We also have the Oculus Rift set up so you can experience what it feels like in the headset. Okay, thank you.